Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is the Fame Daniel podcast where you can actually speak freely, speak your mind, and say whatever you want to say. And you can always contact us through Instagram to share your story. You can always contact us through Snapchat, WhatsApp, or whatever. The number to call is always 210-793-1545. 210-793-1545. And our story today is very, very interesting. It's a story of, we have two stories though. How you doing, Ben Doliski? How you doing, Guy Stacy? We have two stories, and one is all about he's asking for advice, and the other one is a story that really, really touched me, and it's a story that's going to change the life of so many people out there, and I know you're going to love this. Just wait for me so I can bring the story out, and you guys can give this particular person an advice or suggestion of what you think we can do to make it better for all of us today. You understand? So hold on, give me a minute. Okay, we're back. Now I'm going to read you my first story. My first story, it's I want you guys to listen, then you can always give advice to these people and tell them what you feel or what you think they should do. Then the other story, I'm going to read it out to you today. How you doing, Papaya? How you doing? Today's photos. How you doing, Black African Girl? How you doing, Gaia Stacy? How you doing, Ben Doliski? Welcome to our program. Today we're going to start with this. You say, how I find myself trapped in a marriage with a Nigerian man who deceived me about everything, guidance and advice. That's what she wants. So I'll read the story. She wants advice after she sent this message to me. She said, I'm a young Nigerian woman in my mid-20s residing in the US. Quick backstory on my upbringing. I grew up in a toxic environment with two parents' households with just my brothers. Despite our parents providing for us and ensuring a better life, our home was marked by constant argument and abuse, both verbal and physical. Both of my parents worked in the hospital. My mom, more so, worked as a businesswoman, frequently traveling to Nigeria, while my dad pulled double shifts at the hospital. Sadly, emotional support was lacking, and my brother and I often become pawns in their disputes. On a personal note, I have been a tall, plus-size girl throughout my life, contrasting with my slim average height brother. My mom constantly criticized my weight, comparing me to animals and objects. The toxicity eventually led to my parents' divorce, which made my dad cutting ties with all of us. Presently, I have no communications with my brother and my mother, making the disintegration of our family. So now we're going to go to the story. I wanted to provide some context before asking my question. Here's another backstory. So I married a Nigerian man 4 years ago. So this is the advice that she wants. I married a Nigerian man 4 years ago, largely influenced by my mother. She introduced me to him. Despite the love he portrayed, I discovered that he had lied about almost everything. Hesitant to proceed with the wedding, I followed through due to my naivety, my mom's advice, and my love for him. So which means she actually still loved this guy, and she met the guy through the mom. The mom actually made he met this guy. So it was like a relationship being made by the mom. But she said she loved him. So let's see how the story goes. So due to my mom's advice, I've disclosed everything with him. I followed through due to my naivety, my mom's advice, and my love for him. During our honeymoon, I gave him a chance to confess, but he claimed he had disclosed everything, which was obviously untrue. Currently, he's in Nigeria and I'm in the US, uncomfortably with the revealed truths. I halted the immigration process when I expressed my desire for a divorce, stating how I was no longer happy. She responded with societal expectations and outdated views on marriage. What will people say? Marriage is for better, for worse. Last year, I took control, deciding to divorce, the focus on my healing journey, aiming to become the best version of myself for the future. I found myself stuck in the past, having grown up in the US and now unsure of how to navigate my divorce proceedings in Nigeria. I don't trust my husband. Yes, I refer to him as my ex because we are very much separated. This is where the challenge lies. I fear harm if I have to return home to initiate the proceedings as the sole financial support for myself, juggling school and bills, especially in this current economy. I currently lack the financial means to book a flight. And any advice or recommendation for lawyers in this situation? I just want to officially close the chapter in my life. So, if I should explain what she's saying, she said she actually found a guy through the mom. The mom introduced her to this guy. They got married, and this guy told her so many stuff. Promised her that he's, you know how some people always say, "Oh, I got better job. I'm doing good, and I'm okay, and I'm better." And she thought that was true. That the guy actually have all this stuff. He have a job. He have everything he can use in taking care of a woman. But she later found out that this guy have nothing. Now she wants to get a divorce, and she said she don't know how to go about it because she's in America while they were married in Nigeria. So she's looking for a way to get a divorce back home. So if there's any legal person out there who can help out or who can tell us how she can get a divorce through this means, you cannot always write down or contact me so we can get to her so we know how she can get a divorce, because she says she's scared of going back and scared of doing another thing. I don't want to judge her. I don't know what happened in the marriage. I didn't care to ask. She just wanted guidance and wanted advice. She said because most of my followers are Nigerians, they might have idea of how she can get divorced while she's still in America, get a divorce back home. So that is one of my story. Like I said, it's a free zone. We don't judge people. We just read the story the way it is. So my second story is I went to Nigeria to meet the man who scammed me. So this story is about a lady who was scammed, and she actually went back to Nigeria to go meet that woman, the guy who scammed her. So I'm going to read this story to you. She was scammed by someone and she went back to Nigeria to meet that same person. I don't know how it happened. Let's just listen to the story. So when this lady first discovered that the 58 years old Danish man with whom, I know, interesting, the 58-year-old Danish man with whom she had fallen in love was actually a 24-year-old Nigerian 419 internet scammer. The 62-year-old Sweden lady was distraught, but soon her feelings changed. The most terrible thing was not that he cheated on me, but that he lost his innocence. That's what she said. She became consumed with what she described as profound need to make difference to the people of Nigeria. This lady's relationship started with Johnny, which is not his real name. He was using an initials. Began after an evening of fun and games with her girlfriend, during which they playfully created a profile for her on an online dating website a few years before. She had gone through a traumatic divorce, and her friends teased her about finally starting up a new relationship. So she's been through divorce, she's been through breakups and all that. So she decided to start a new relationship, but her friend, they were teasing her, and they decided to open a dating site for her. And that was how this started, and that was how she met with Johnny. But when the fun of creating her profile was over, this lady who works as an art teacher, she's a painter and she's a therapist, didn't give much further thoughts to the website. She didn't care about the website. She didn't care because she didn't open it, but someone opened it from her. Then she said she received messages telling her that people who had contacted me, but I never looked at them, she said. Then one day she did. She said, I don't know why. She said, It was like a sudden impulse happening before I could stop it. That particular message was from a man who described himself as Dane Reyes in South Carolina, USA, a civil engineer working on a contract in England, a widower with a son in a Manchester university. I was caught up by the atmosphere and by something in his words, she said. He came out so charming, he came out so nice. The guy was smart. He said he's a civil engineer, he's a widower, and he have a son. And that swept her off her feet. Because she is a divorcee and she found someone who is a widow with a son. That actually made her interested. So, this is the way they interact. For Johnny, I wish I could see through your eyes and see what you look like. The lady, I like to see the truth, and often truth is more beautiful and greater than people dare to realize. Back to Johnny. You talk in parables. I can't wait to see you. Back to her. I can't understand how you can think so dedicated of me when you have never met me. That scares me. So she was scared at that first time when they were having that conversation because the guy was so fast forward into relationship talks. So she said, we spent some time writing. Then he called me from a UK number. This lady who had lived in the different countries across Europe was surprised that she could not place the man's accent. She mentioned this to him, but didn't give it too much thought. He told her that he was planning for his retirement, had Sweden in mind for a place to settle, own a house in Denmark, inherit from his parents, wanted to leave that to his son Nick, who was very attached to it, while he looked for a new home for himself. So he claimed he was a millionaire, which means he was rich. He has a lot of money. How you doing, for? I wanted to meet him because I liked him. She said, he had a way and a sweetness I had never known in a man before, and he was innocent in a way that he puzzled me. Yeah, it's karma will always find its way into your heart because they know how to talk. You're laughing, Miss Black. A man who said he was Danish started asking me for money. So that is another topic. He started asking me for money. Put all these qualities down to an old-fashioned upbringing and isolated life, living in hotels and spending his free time on golf course, owning too much, traveling. After 3 months of communicating, the man agreed to come over and visit me in Sweden. But before that, he and his son needed to make a quick trip to Nigeria for a job interview, he said. That was what John told her. He said, I'm going to come to Sweden to see you. But before I come to Sweden, I'm going to make a quick stop in Nigeria to see my family, right? So, for a job interview, he said. So Johnny called to let her know that he was at Heathrow Airport and to say that he had landed in Nigeria. He also got her to speak with Nick. The next phone call was to tell her that he was in Lagos hospital. He left London. As soon as he left London, he got to Nigeria. As soon as he got to Nigeria, the first thing he did was to call her and tell her that he was in the hospital. He said they have mugged him. They have mugged his son and shot his son in the head. And they were without money and papers. They had nothing. They stole their passport and they stole his money. Unfortunately, his bank did not have a branch in Africa, he added. So it would take time to transfer money from his UK account. Meanwhile, the hospital management was requesting $1,000 to proceed with treatment. He was mobbed. He was shot. Now the hospital is demanding $1,000 to continue with treatment. Like I said, it's a no judge zone. I'm not going to judge any of them. I'm just telling you the story. So you guys should be the one judging. So now he's in Nigeria. He's shot. His son was shot. Now they need money. His bank is nowhere in Africa, so there's no way he can get money. Now he don't even have his passport. So he started, honey, I'm in the hospital right now, using the doctor's laptop to send you this message. How can you use the doctor's laptop to send message? I don't understand that. So you can know my situation. Honey, if Nick dies, I will also die with him. I have been crying. I wish I could call you. I wish I never came here. I will never forgive myself for bringing Nick along with me. I will call you with the doctor's phone and send you an email later if I have the chance. Another day. Honey, I'm happy to hear from you, and I'm still at the hospital. The doctor said we were lucky we were not kidnapped. The bank does not have a location in Africa, so it will take time to get money, and the management are requesting $1,000 to proceed with treatment. Nick is all I have got, and I will not forgive myself if anything happens to him. I'm confused, and I do not know where to turn to at the moment. A perfect way to scam someone. Then she said, I will never forget how I rushed to the Western Union office, trembling while I did the transfer. She said, all I could think of was to get the two persons in Nigeria out of danger. The plot developed after that initial transfer. Medical complications called for more money. The doctor demanded more advance fee. Several thousands of dollars later, in what she described as coming to her senses, Maria realized that something was amiss. She stopped responding to his messages. She stopped. So she discovered that this was getting too much. This was beginning to look like a scam. And she said she feels she was being scammed. So she decided to stop all transactions. She decided to even stop replying his messages. She decided to stop talking to him, like she said in a message that she sent to me. So as soon as she stopped, 3 weeks of her silence, he called her and confessed to her and told her who he was. Then this lady said, I already knew that. I asked him to tell me his true identity, and he did. He was a 24-year-old Nigerian 419 scammer. He had finished university 2 years earlier but had no job. You see, sometimes I don't blame people for what they do or how they do it, but some people are desperate because of the situations they're going through, and they tend to go into stuff which is not right. But like I said, I'm not there to judge this man, but we just gotta read this story that she sent to us. This kind of advanced free fraud are known as 419 scams in Nigeria after the sections of the criminal code which covers fraud. He further describes himself as a devil who had wronged a lovely woman. He said he had never met anyone like me before, that he had been fighting his feelings for a long time. He said his scammed mate and had warned him about not falling in love with a client, but he ignored because he trusted me and did not want to lose contact with me. So I guess he later fell in love with the old lady and decided to tell the old lady who he actually was. He revealed his identity to this lady. From this point on, their communication took a new turn, like she said. There were no further requests for cash. She was no longer giving him cash, but the communication took a new turn because he came out to now tell her, this is who I am. From this point on, their communication took that new turn. The attraction I started feeling was to this person who was revealed himself to me. It was still him, but with a new name and a different age and circumstances. She said Johnny sent her a photograph of himself, but Maria was not satisfied with that. I wanted to meet him, she said. I could not live with this relationship unless it was adjusted to reality in all sense. So even if Johnny scammed her, it was a story that actually led to true love. And he said, I could not live with this. I wanted it to make sense. Unable to get him a visa to travel to Sweden, she made up her mind to go to Nigeria in October. She traveled to Africa for the first time in her life in October last year. When I saw him at the airport in Abuja, tears fell over his face, and I knew I had known him all my life. She cried. She met him for the first time. This is someone who actually scammed her. So sometimes, not everyone who hurt you actually hurt you for real. Some of them will actually come back and apologize to you for genuinity, while some of them, you know what they are, they don't really care. So she described that her 2 weeks in Nigeria was blissful. She stayed for 2 weeks in Nigeria and she stayed in Abuja. During this period, which she said, the journey transformed into a romantic feeling for each other, into a good friendship. She met his friends, many of whom were all scammers. It was while enjoying their company one night in the local bar that she began to wonder how she could make a difference in their life. She arranged for Africa artists to visit Europe. I asked myself what I could do to prevent a situation where healthy, good young men fall into this trap, she said. An idea came to her 2 years later after she saw an article on a Nigerian news website about an art exhibition over the past 6 years. She arranged a number of African artists to visit Europe for arts exhibitions, workshop, conference, and competition. She has assisted them to source international grants and other funding to advance their work. She has also visited other African countries just because of that incident that happened, to give talks on art, and looking forward to visit Nigeria scheduled for later this year. So she's still going to go to Nigeria this year. She went on her own trip to meet artists in Uganda and other parts of Africa. She's now 69 and she's living in Norway. It's elevated an opportunity to improve the lives of their young artists. Johnny has given more than he took, she said. Without him, I would not have met Africa. When she visited him in Abuja, Johnny promised that he would give up scamming with her assistant. He left Nigeria shortly afterward to study in America. Although they have not met each other again since that time, but she continued to provide him with financial assistance until he completed his degree a few years ago and got a job in the American oil sector. They still communicate frequently, updating themselves on each other's life. And last year, he bought one of her paintings, which she shipped over to him in America. He's very dear to me, she said. He asks so many times to forgive. I told him that the most thing that he has done, I have forgiven him. That is my story. It is very essential in life for us to forgive one another. It's very essential for life for us to give people second chances. If you lead this story back to the first story that we had, we don't know what happened between the lady and the other guy that made them want to divorce. There might be communication barriers, but if you guys can straighten that communication barriers, it will help a lot instead of just breaking it. You understand? If he was abusive or he's been a cheater, then I can advise you to break all communication and divorce that guy. But if he's not doing what you think he's doing, I will advise you to actually stay with that guy, because even the ones you want to go meet outside, how cool do you think they are? And you just heard this story from someone being a scammer but decided to change and become someone in the oil sector. He's in America here and he's doing real good. That lady did not just turn on him, she changed his life, and he changed the lady's life, allowing the lady to bless other people. And that is how we all can bless other people. You can be a channel to someone, you can be a blessing to someone. We all have stories out there, we all have something to say, but how we tell it is what really matters. Communication passes through different channels and it goes into different ways, but how you tell it is what really matters. Give someone that space to actually come close to you and listen to that little thing that you've gone through. It can actually teach someone to actually rise above their failures. Despite all the pain people went through, the pain this lady went through, she took her time to send me this note. I want you guys to be the judge. Go to the comment section, give these people's advice, see what they can do for anybody. And I thank you for actually listening to my podcast. It's just going to be a short one. And I'm going to be broadcasting tomorrow all the way from Puerto Rico. And I'll be expecting you guys to tune in. But I'll be over there, laying in the beach and relaxing, sipping my margarita or whatever I'll be sipping. And I'll be live there talking back to you guys. Okay, it said being able to listen and forgive is healing. You must also make sure not to do it at the expense of yourself. Thank you, Gael. Yes, that is really true. I'm reading that from Instagram right now. Yes, being able to forgive, yes, which you are so right. You understand? But I still tell people just because that person forgives you, it's not going to change that they will forget what you did to them, except you change. If you don't change, I can forgive you, but if you don't change, that forgiveness won't mean anything. You understand? We can still forgive each other and move forward. We can still forgive each other and move forward. But the basic part is that whenever you forgive someone, forgive them from your heart. Don't look at how they do it. If they don't change, it doesn't concern you anymore. Just move on and let it stay away, because the more you keep it in your heart, the more it grows and the more it affects you. You understand? Because whenever you see that person, your heart trembles. So I believe forgiveness goes a long way. It goes a long way. But never do it at the expense of yourself. Take care of yourself first. You understand? Because even the Bible said, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. So you should first put your first step forward. Clean your house before you clean someone else's house. So I advise everyone out there, please, always carry that passion to forgive people. Be there to forgive people, because you never know what they're going through. He came through and told her, I know I've been scamming you, but I want you to forgive me. And she had that heart to forgive her, and they were able to transform themselves. He moved from being in a local place and moved to America. Now he's working in the oil field, doing real well. Why she continued her life? She knows he scammed her, but he asked for forgiveness. And that forgiveness went a long way and created this beautiful bridge between them, that they can connect, even though they haven't met each other for a while. But you can hear the stories that he's doing well and she's doing well. And now she's advocating for our country and Africa in arts. If he didn't do all this stuff, that wouldn't have happened. Understand? So sometimes our mistakes takes us to the perfect destination, but that doesn't mean we should make mistakes. You understand? I don't condone scammers. I don't condone anything that goes with scamming someone. But in whatever we do, it's always good that we do it the right way. And doing it the right way is standing for people that you love, and even those that you don't love. Show them your heart. Show them forgiveness. It will definitely go a long way. Like I said, today is a short topic, and I'll be waiting for your comment in the comment section, and we're going to talk about this same topic on Tuesday and Thursday, and we're going to post them on Instagram page. I'm going to post them on YouTube. You can always listen to our program on Fame Daniel, and you can always call, put a call through, tell us a story, tell us what you think, tell us what you think about life, tell us what you've been through in life. These stories are real stories, and these are people writing these stories. I have a lot of stories that I'm still going to talk about next week, but the next week one, I want to sit down and talk about it. And for the last week topic, our friend who we talked about best friends actually reached out to me and was happy on how you guys actually helped him make his decisions. He actually made his decisions in a very great way. He decided to move on. He sat down with her and lay his mind out to her, and she said that she chose to be the way she is. She's not going to change. And he said because of the way we talked to him gave him confidence, because he was shy and scared that he won't get a woman out there. But now, because of the way we advised him, it actually helped him. And now he's doing real well, because he's going to find someone out there. I know he's going to find someone out there that will actually treat him right, that will actually treat him good. And I know some of you who are looking for someone, I know it's not easy to find a good person, but you'll definitely find someone if you put your mind right. and learn to forgive. Thank you and have a great evening, everyone. Bless from Fame Daniel Podcast. Like I said, you can call us. You can reach us 210-793-1545 on WhatsApp and on text messages. You can send me your messages and you can email us your messages. You can email that, send me your email and I'll text you my email so you can actually send your messages to us of your story that you want us to share on our platform. Those little stories can actually help someone, can change someone's life, and people can listen to it and be like, oh, I would have done this or I would have done that. Thanks and have a great night. Peace out.